What's up, fam? Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there. Today we are taking a look at a budget offering from Kubey, even though it's in its kind of their more premium box with the magnetic closure and stuff. I think Kubey does consider their Ultim and stuff to be a more premium material, which a lot of folks do, and it's just not. But hey, you know, what do we know, right? So let's take a look at this blade here. That is the Kubey Ceto. A very wicked clip points, kind of Persian-y clip point blade here. You got some radial milling on the PEI or Ultim, as you'll hear me call it many times, but it is PEI. It's not the name brand of Ultim. Just know that. But you're looking at a almost 3.5 inch blade, 3.46 inches. But I have a feeling the cutting edge is going to be a little bit less just because of that finger choil. Let's check that real quick. Hold on a minute. Let me get on that tip there. Yeah, we're looking at right at 3.25 inch on the cutting edge. So you're losing about 1/4 inch there on that blade length because of your finger choil. 8.19 inches overall and 4.5 ounces. Let's double check their math on that. Yep, 4.6. So I'd say that's right on. A 14C. Now they do run their 14C at between 60 and 62. So it's probably, it probably usually runs in that 61 mark. They probably do 61 plus or minus 1. It's what a lot of companies seem to do. A lot of Chinese companies seem to do on their 14C is 61 plus or minus 1. So, yeah, pretty cool. This is a Muzi design. It's an interesting blade. It feels pretty good in the hand. It's not really my style, but it is a pretty daggum good knife. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at it up close and personal here. They have the new Kubey pivot, and there's that radial milling we were talking about. And then you can also see some nice chamfering that runs all the way around the knife. Very, very nice, and really nice to see the T8 hardware everywhere. No lefty love on this one. You do have a very functional flipper with pretty good jimping on there, not super functional. The jimping is the exact same on the top of the knife there. And again, we rotate that around. We have no lanyard. Oh, no, we do have lanyard love there. So we've got a lanyard pin in the backspacer. And we have a half-length backspacer made out of Ultim as well. Inset with flat screws on the pocket clip. Pocket clip works very, very well. It does create a bit of a spot there on the hand, but we'll talk about that here in just a minute. And again, T8 hardware. There you have your thumb studs. We are perfectly centered. Let's take a look at our lockup. Lockup is phenomenal. Very good job. Access to the lock is very nice. Got the scalloping there on that, which gives you just a little bit of an extra grip. And then that flipper does give you some jimping there on the bottom as well for you to work on. And then you do have, again, that choke up point. Taking a look at the blade again up close and personal here, we do have a stonewashed 14C, very massive clip point with a swedge. Very functional thumb studs as well. Kubey does a pretty good job on their thumb studs. Backside here, again, there's your 14C in the Muzi design. And sharpening, again, Kubey does a great job on the sharpening. Very acute tip on this guy, and the tip looks to be done well. No issues with that. I'd say that's pretty spot on. Let's take a look at it one more time. And let's flip it to the other side. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty spot on. Pretty freaking good. Kubey's getting really good with their plunge grinds now. So people are harping on them a little bit, and they're starting to work on that. So plunge grind is really good there. Even though you have a finger choil, they do still have a pretty quick plunge grind. Flat grind here is 3/4 height. Nothing out of the ordinary. And then action-wise, it is very nice. Like I said, thumb studs work great. So if this is one where you did want to chop it, you could certainly do so. The stop pin location's in a good spot, so you could definitely chop that. You can see your stop pin there. So you could chop your flipper if you wanted to, or you could leave it. Either way is fine. It does reverse flick pretty nicely, depending on how you want to do it. If you want to push off with it, or if you want to use your nail, whichever way works. The radial milling gives you plenty of texture without being too rough. And then the pocket, the pocket clip, you feel it just because of the way that bill is, but it's not it's not real bad. Honestly, think you'll end up getting a hot spot depending on where you put your hands, depending on how you do your hands. This knife is definitely made for someone with slightly larger hands than myself, because I feel like I'm trying to crowd up here on these finger grooves, and then I feel like I end up getting into that tip right there. But if I spread out, and kind of just, make my hand bigger than it actually is, then I feel the pocket clip a little bit more, but I don't feel the other hot spot here created by my fingers. So, and then you can also choke up as well and get in there. And but then with your choke up, you do need to be careful, because there is a point there that will get you if you're not careful. So just when you're choking up, just make sure you don't go full ham and get up there, because it will cut you on the finger there while you're using the knife. Now, if you're like me, left-handed but don't carry left-handed, then you kind of still feel the pocket clip. Honestly, it's honestly more of a problem now because your finger is landing, or at least mine is landing right into it. So it does create more of a hot spot on the hand, or excuse me, on the finger than it was on the hand. So this one's really not for me, but like I said, it's one of those ones where you'll have to get it in your hand to see if you have an issue with it or not. But I don't think any of it would really be an issue as far as creating a really bad hotspot. You're just going to feel it. It's not the most ergonomic knife in the world, at least for me. But your mileage may vary, and most of the time it probably does. So as far as build quality, it's Kubey. You can't beat it. Right now, this knife is $56 on White Mountain. I'm going to link White Mountain down below because they always have these. But just be aware that that pricing may change by the time you see this video. So just check out White Mountain. As always, use your favorite creator code. I do not have one. It doesn't matter whose you use. Nobody gets paid to use those White Mountain links as far as I understand. So just make sure you use your White Mountain code, get 10% off. And yeah, appreciate y'all. As always, please remember to be kind, be humble, and be EDC. Y'all take care.